Nice. So yeah, we'll get started. I'm joined today by Rocco for part two. For those who are listening for the first time and who haven't met Rocco before, we did the first episode where we discussed Rocco's journey. And yeah, I think a good place to start would be by Rocco, so you starting basically summarizing. It will be difficult to summarize because,
Yeah.
I mean, what a journey you've had. But I think the idea for today will be summarize a little bit of what we discussed last time, and then yeah, I think we'll go from there because we've only really covered sort of the first part of your life. So yeah, for those who haven't met you, what's your initial background?
Yeah, so hello everyone, and thank you for having me here again. It's a pleasure. And so yeah, last time we talked about like the first part of my life and the book that I'm writing about it. It's a story of addictions and some traumas that happened in my past, and then from the trauma I went into strong addictions, and then how addictions actually can affect your life in a pretty strong way, and but also that you can like get a lot of strength if you finally get out from it. And so basically, in the first episode, I went pretty in details into my journey. Yeah, like sleeping in the streets and trying to get out from the addiction cycle in many ways, and taking many walls in my face, or crash my face into many walls, and finally get the way out from it.
Yeah, and I remember you discussing how it was running, right? And that was the way that you managed to get out of it was by
Yeah.
if you had an urge to take a drug or anything like that, you would just keep on running in the same direction and then, yeah, just keep on going. And that seems to have been the answer for you. So, yeah, you've got back. So, we go back to that stage, and you've now come up with a recovery, right? Or
Exactly.
you've come up with your own method, something that the clinics didn't try. It was just something that you came up with in your head. I wonder then, at that point, did you think, right, this is it, I've cracked the code? And what was your initial mindset once you had realized you'd overcome that addiction?
Yeah, so from that moment, I felt my really strong again inside, because I thought like, okay, if I did that, so I can do many things in life. So from that point, as I said last time, was a pretty nice example. I put a rocket inside my ass and turn it on, and from there, like, I started to go pretty fast in life. Yeah, but actually, like. The real journey into an let's say an addiction recovery is after you quit your addiction. And that's, I think, is one of the most interesting things, because when you start, let's say you have some traumas, no, like I did, and then you will cure yourself with drugs. And so for you, it's like just you are covering a hole that you have inside with something. In my case, were drugs. And then, let's say, everyone, including you, forgot about like your traumas, and everyone, includes you, just see the drugs problem. And so it's like, oh man, you should stop, using drug. You should stop doing this life. and and so everyone forgot, including doctors or family. Is like, oh, my son has problem with drugs, no, or like, this guy has problem with drugs, and that's not the reality. So at the end, so the first step, of course, is to like take away the addiction, like even in a strong way, like I did, no, running, like literally running for months, and then And then if you finally find a way to stay away from your addictions, then in that moment is where the real work starts actually. And so this is really interesting, because if you take off the addiction, the hole will be empty again. So you will say like, oh, I need to cover it again. And maybe you will put other addictions, no? And so that's pretty interesting. So that in that moment, so when I strongly like quit my addictions, the real journey starts.
Yeah, I can imagine. I wonder then how many people sort of do struggle with that, because yeah, even once they're past the addiction, like you said, there is this hole that remains. And maybe, I don't know if you've seen this as well, for a lot of people, the issue could be they don't actually know what that is, that hole that's been left, right? And they're not quite sure how to navigate that. So I'd be interested to hear how, in your case, how you went back to that, because like you said, I think you had, I don't think during the time you were addicted, you had realized why you were doing this, and it's the root cause of those events that happened when you were 12 or 13, right? So at what point did you sort of start to notice this, and how did you navigate that? What was going through your mind there?
Yeah, so I think one of the most important things is like that you can't do that alone, and this is like the truth, because if you want to go deeper and deeper, you need some help. And so that's why it's also important to have to be surrounded from the right people, and like your family needs to show you support and love at one point, or at least some of your friends. So this is really important to have some support. And then I started to realize that in my last rehab, because inside the rehab we did some like psychotherapy sessions or group sessions where you go deep in your past, and so you start to go back in time and to talk about, okay, but what happened, and no, like why you felt this strong like connection with the drugs and things like that. So I started there, and then when I came out from the last rehab, so I said, okay, I was really scared actually to go back in the addiction cycle somehow, because at the end my mother I went back to my mother's place. As I said last time, like the rehab after my strong running thing, they helped me to get back to her place. So, but when I get back there, I said, okay, I need some support and some help. So I went to do this Narcotic Anonymous groups every day. So basically, it's a group of ex-addicted, or even like people that are still using but go there for find some kind of help, and you have one group every day after dinner in every city. So let's say in Florence we have 7 groups per week, and so 1 group per night, and so every night you know that you have to like survive the day without any drugs just until the group, because then you go to the group and okay, and you feel okay, and there you can share your situation and listen to other stories, maybe even worse than your story, so you like start to understand. And then I did these groups for like a year, and I started to get better and better and better. And then there was a possibility to open a new group in the neighborhood where I grew up and where I actually started to use drugs, inside this like homeless hotel, where once I didn't know where to go to sleep in the past, and I went to sleep there for a couple of weeks. So it was a really cool story, Yeah.
Okay, so the opportunity opened up to go to the same, to help out at the same place that you used to seek refuge from.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it
that's really
was
cool.
really, really cool. And that's why I felt like this thing of I need to do that. I need to open this room and I need to be the guy that will take care of this group.
Wow.
So and the interesting story was that the last night I was sleeping in that place, I was in the room with like these three rum guys and they were drinking and doing a mess in the room. And usually in that places you put your shoes, your backpack and your clothes under the bed with you when you sleep. No, you put all your things and you cover yourself because they will steal from you.
Ah,
No,
right.
if you.
Okay.
So I did that, and then I turned on a cigarette and I started to smoke this cigarette inside the bed. And for them that was not cool, and so they throw me a, the thing that you use when you broke your leg.
Crutches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They throw me one of them inside my bed, and we start a big fight. Me versus these three guys because they were friends. So we start this crazy fight inside the room, and then the security came up and threw me out of the place because somehow I was the one that was smoking in the room or something. And so they banned me from there. So like, no, you can't come here anymore. And so it was a cool thing to actually go back there to talk with the same people that banned me from there a few years before and to say, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Rocco. I will be the guy who will take care of the group, of the NA group. And they didn't recognize
They
me.
didn't. I bet. Well, of course they wouldn't. I mean, I'd imagine your just whole aura and your whole personality is just completely changed, right?
Yeah.
I can imagine that completely changes you. I wonder, before that opportunity came up, obviously you're still navigating your addiction and you're just focused on getting better. Are you thinking about life yet? Are you thinking, what's my purpose? Or are you just simply focused on, right, I'm better now. Let's just focus on the small steps. No rush. I don't need to think about life just yet. I've got the support of my parents back. And if you were thinking that, was this new opportunity a chance for you to be like, wow, this is my thing. This is what I need to do.
All right, yeah. So in the same time, like I wanted to take care of my mental situation. So continue my work with these groups, and then also to the other part of my life. So I started to study again in that period. So I took back my high school. Like I did 3 years in one, and so was really intense but really cool. And then I started to I needed something strong to do with my body, and so I said I need to like the what's the hardest like fighting sport that there is like on earth. And so there was this crazy gym called Dog Eat Dog uh, in Florence. It was an MMA gym, and they were really really crazy there actually. And so I said, okay, I'm going there. So I went to this gym and start straight away to do MMA there, and they were really strong with me. Like I remember one of the first training, like they just the head coach just throw me in the cage and put me some gloves and the helmet and all the things, and said like, okay, let's see what you can do. Like but like I said, but I can't do anything. I don't know how I'm here to learn. And he said, like, come here, like Gabriele, to a guy, and let's fight with Rocco a little bit. And he gave me a lot of punches and kicks and submission and stuff. And that was the welcome, the welcome there, but in a let's say in a nice way,
Okay,
right?
sure.
But yeah, so from there I started this journey in MMA. Started to train every day, and that was interesting part of my recovery too. For
Yeah, well, I guess in the sense of, okay, it fills you with self-belief and discipline, that type of thing. Was there anything in particular about martial arts that it really taught you, or how did it sort of change your mindset over
I
time?
was really, really, still really angry at that time, even if I was recovering, but I was still angry with like the world, with the past, and with my family too, at that point. So that helped me to put my anger somewhere safe and also to take back my like autoesteem, self-esteem,
Mm.
and even for I was 58 kilos when I was in the streets,
Mm.
and when you weight your weight is like that, and you are a man, like you don't feel a real man somehow, no,
Mm.
like so you don't feel safe if something happen to you or to your girlfriend or to your friend, like you feel that you can't protect anyone including you. So yeah, that's why like MMA, and I think you know also a lot about martial arts and helps you a lot with that.
Yeah, I think it just teaches you a lot about life as well. That it's not just something you can learn in one session or two sessions or in 1 month. It's just a lifelong process, and
Yeah,
I
true.
think the ups and downs of that, it builds up your character. Like I said, teaches you about life, and yeah, it's about patience as well. It's about, okay, you know what, today I'm going to go in and, all right, okay, I'm not going to be as good as this guy, but I know if I keep turning up every single day, maybe I can be. And it's about one day you're going to go in there full of confidence and you're going to have a great day and feel on top of the world. The next day, you're going to get maybe tapped out by someone half your size, right? And
Yeah, 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 exactly.
it's beautiful. I think it's great for sort of managing your ego, but then also building up confidence as well. It's absolutely awesome. So I can see why that would have played such an important role in your journey. I think coming back to you sort of taking the lead at this group, then
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. So obviously, I think a lot of it is about listening to people and just understanding them, because I think a lot of people want to be understood. So was the aim there when you had this opportunity? Was it a case of, okay, right, people need to know about this method because it's helped me, or was it more of a, right, let's just make sure people feel included?
Yeah, so it's first of all, you do that, you run a group like that for you, because if you, it's like take back some responsibility in your life about caring about the others, and so you do that for you, and this gave me a big boost, no, also to say, okay, I have something to share, I have something to, like, I can help, I can take care of other people.
I just want to touch upon that because I think that's super important. There's this sense of when you start thinking, right, I'm going to help other people, does that fill you with that, yeah, sense of purpose? And because for me, I think when I think about that, it's kind of a reminder that the world doesn't revolve around you. I think it's so important, obviously, to dig deep into yourself and find out what's going on in your own head and never ignore problems. But at the same time, I do feel like when we're only focusing on our own problems, I think you can sometimes it can go the other side and it can feed quite negative thoughts. So I feel like when you remind yourself that the world actually, there's other people who are struggling, and if you make your focus about them without neglecting your own problems, I think that can be pivotal for your own health, right? Is
Yeah,
that
it's
what you felt?
powerful for you. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think in that moment, it is the moment where, like, I decided that I wanted also to help people in my life, no? Like with the work that I do, I'm a coach. I will tell you more later, and then with the book that I'm writing, also I want to help people. I think that was the first step, and but was really interesting because But yeah, let's say the truth, no? As we said, like no taboo here. So when I was running these groups after, I think, let's say a year, I realized that actually, I don't want to say there are a lot of weak person there, but I think is a NA is kind of a weak method, because just switch the addiction from the drugs to the groups. So like you start to be addicted to the groups, and without the groups, like you are nothing. So I start to see these patterns, no, in the NA journey, and then also they say like that you can't have a relationship with a girlfriend for a first period with a girl. You can't have like addiction from nicotine. You can't drink alcohol. You can't do that. So many rules, and this is fine. This is important, but if you do that for a short period of time, if you do it for a lifetime, this is like a prison. So I start to realize these things, and I say, fuck, I'm not really, I didn't take back my freedom like this. So not in a real way. I'm like 50%. So I start to say, you know what, I don't fit here anymore. So I started to, like, as the boss of the group, I couldn't say these things,
Oh,
no?
of course.
Like you cannot. But I was really young and and ambitious and full of ideas and energy. So I started to say, like, in a smooth way, these things like, hey, but why no, can't we like try again with some, to take back some normal addictions and see how it works. And yeah, at the end they just like the my bosses says like, hey Rocco, you can't run these groups anymore.
And just to clarify,
Yeah.
what was your message exactly that you were trying to push?
Yeah, the message was like, we are not getting our power back as humans if we continue just to come to the group, and if you come to the group you will be good for life, because that was their message. And I thought that groups are really important, but just for a short period.
I
Then
see,
you
right.
need to like take your road and know that the groups are there if you need, but then like go and
Yeah,
take
take your lessons and then try it out in the real world, right?
yeah, if
Yeah.
and do what you want basically. Because if you say, like, after let's say 1 year of this group, you say, you know what, I'm good with addictions in general, I don't want to like drink a glass of wine anymore, no, in my life. If this is your choice and you really want that, that's fine. But if you don't do that just because you're afraid to go back in an addiction cycle, you're not free.
I think that's really interesting because if you're, yeah, sort of avoiding something, it still has control over you, right?
Yeah.
From my understanding, from the readings I've done on addiction, it's about reframing your mindset towards it. So, smoking is a big one for me. It's something that, yeah, I've been on and off with, but I sort of recently decided, okay, right, enough is enough.
Yeah.
And I realized the problem, and I read Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking.
Yeah, I read it too.
Okay, so yeah, you know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about. And exactly, it's about reframing your mind. The reason why a lot of smokers like myself couldn't quit is because we thought that we were giving up something, as you know. So I think reframing your mind, and seeing the illusion that actually that's not giving me any pleasures. It's actually making everything worse, and just reframing your brain. So I guess that's something that you sort of realize with the addictions, right? It's actually, don't just see them as, oh, okay, this is this amazing thing which I need. It's actually a case of, right, it's there, but this isn't the answer, or this isn't this. Don't attach so much value to it. Is that
Mm-hmm.
along the lines of what you
Yeah,
discovered,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Makes sense, exactly. Like at that point, I wanted everything back and all my power back, and I don't want to feel that way. Like, okay, I need the groups, otherwise, no, I wanted to be free again, and so yeah, I left, and was cool. I mean. As I said, for me, the groups were just a part of my journey. So perfect. I did that. Take my lessons, go deeper inside me, help some people, and also share my point of view. No, and but still today, the some people were. From the groups text me like, hey man, I don't know how I mean, at the end you did that, but continue. You are crashing in life, because at the end I said to them, like, after a few trials, I now can manage alcohol, for example, but after a few trials. Okay.
Trials.
Yeah, like I tried and went really bad the first times,
Oh, okay.
really bad. But then I said, okay, I want to take back this power, and so now I can, if I go out for a dinner, I can drink a glass of wine, or if I want to have a beer with a friend, I can do that.
And when it went bad with alcohol, how did you sort of get back to, okay, the trial went wrong, but how did you get back on course after that? Was it the same method as before,
Yeah, like no, it just
or just doing too much in one sitting?
no, no, like I just said, okay, this like went wrong, so let's try again when I will feel good. And so after a few weeks, I tried again, and then I tried again, and then I find like the way. For example, I notice that if you use some kind of drugs, okay, for cure yourself, because you're feeling bad, so you say, okay, I'm going out to drink with my friends. No, that's not okay. And but if you're doing it because it's just a plus of like, let's say, a nice night with your girlfriend, and you want to drink a glass of wine with her, this is fine. And
100% agree.
so this is, I think this is was the key for me, no? Because if I see some patterns, like, why I have a beer now in front of me, because it's a bad day, or like because it's something that I'm really enjoying, and because now I want to feel free. And so that was interesting, and that was the key for me. And from that moment, I like get back my power in
That's
this way.
yeah. Well, that's really interesting because I think you can almost apply that to non-addicts, and okay, you could argue maybe some people are addicted to alcohol, for example, but don't think that they are. But that is interesting. It's like if you take a sip of beer and yeah, it's you're thinking, right, am I doing this because I'm in a bad mood? Or is this because I'm enjoying life so much and I want to enhance the experience? I think there's quite a big difference there, like you mentioned, right?
Yeah, I wanted to say this not because I'm a big drinker. Actually, I drink once every few weeks, but it's important also for me to give the message to the people that are in these situations, that like they don't need to actually quit everything for all their lives. No, it's just periods, no? For one period, you really need to quit everything, like I did, like 3 years, no cigarettes, no nicotine, no alcohol, no drugs, nothing, no sleeping pill, nothing. Super clean. And you need that period. You need that. You need to put space, even if in your brain, between the addiction cycles and like a non-addiction cycles. Then, if you want, after these years, you can decide, okay, maybe I want to, smoke, even if it's bad. But if you want to do that, you can manage that. Or you want to drink a beer, you can manage that. It takes time, to understand a lot of things, but you can do that if you want. No?
I think that can be quite helpful for a lot of people, not to be overwhelmed by it. Because I remember, again, it was like me with smoking, right? Because I would stop for a while using the willpower method, but I'd stop for quite a long time and then I'd get back into it. And yeah, I remember I spoke to someone who said, "Oh, you know what? Don't stress about it. It's just like a cycle of your life. It's a period. Doesn't mean you're going to be smoking forever."
Exactly.
And yeah, I think that can just take the pressure off a bit. And another interesting point you mentioned as well was this idea of like when you are sort of okay, if we use the example of smoking, for example, you can, like I said, take it for one point of your life and maybe at some point, yeah, just think, you know what, it's not for me. But there was another point as well in there where I think when you sort of just think, okay, you know what, that's enough for me, I'm done. When you sort of take that away, I think that does put some pressure on yourself because you can't, if you've put that label on yourself, okay, I'm not a smoker, I'm not a drinker, it's like, okay, now that's my identity and I can't have one. But I think if you just give yourself permission, like, okay, if you want a drink, if you want to smoke, have it. I think the chances are you're probably less likely to have one, right?
Exactly.
If you're removing that pressure.
Yeah, you need to choose. No, you need to choose, but not based on I'm scared about these things I can't manage, but because you choose, because you don't want to smoke or you don't want to drink, no, yeah, or you don't want to use drugs. So it's this for me is like taking back your power for real, and yeah.
Well, it's again, it's little sidetrack, but I had a conversation with someone the other day, but I think or they knew someone who was in a relationship, right? And yeah, they were talking in this relationship, and they thought, oh, okay, like you know, maybe we should open up the relationship, you know, just so we have the opportunity if we want to explore something, then we can. But it's quite funny. They opened the relationship up, I think it was 4 years ago, and they haven't seen anyone. But I think just, which is crazy, right? But it's just
Yeah.
like having that opportunity to. It's suddenly like, okay, raw. It takes the pressure off. It's like, okay, I'm not only committed to this person, but I am anyway because she's the only person I want to be with.
That's cool. Like at the end, so it's a choice, no? So even it was a good thing also for the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just the way the mind works is just so interesting, right?
It's true. It's
Yeah,
true.
really, really interesting. Okay, so you've got your sort of method now. You've stepped away from the groups. Are you thinking now, right, how can I help people that isn't part of this group? What's the next sort of steps for you there?
Yeah, so basically from there I started to yeah, I took back my studies and I started to actually to like to train athletes in the MMA and the boxing yeah, in MMA and boxing, and prepare them physically for the match. And I was really passionate about it, and but there were like no money there, and at the end money is also part of your freedom. And as I said, for me, take back my freedom is it was the key point. And so like mentally and economically and in all the aspects of my life. So from there, I started to switch into personal training, so one-on-one sessions, and then yeah, it started to go really really well for me. And but then COVID came, and so when COVID came, all the gyms like were shut down, and then yeah, and then I started to say, okay, I need to do something online now. And but in Italy at that time wasn't so popular to do like online coaching. So when I said to my colleagues, to my friends, they said, Rocco, no, online, no, like you can't do that. It's not professional or something like that.
Not professional?
Yeah, in Italy we are pretty old mindset, okay, and yeah. So I say, okay, fuck that. I'm doing this. So I started to study nutrition, so nutrition coaching, and I started to combine training and nutrition to help my clients. And so this started to go really well actually during COVID because I had a lot of time. I put a lot of energy in it, and then at the end of COVID, I was with my one of my ex-girlfriend, and I said to her, you know what? Let's move to Costa Rica and let's go to live there. And I will try to do the online coach from there. And she said yes. So we basically left Italy and went to Costa Rica. And there is where I experienced the first taste of working online and traveling. And this is a bit connected to the present moment. And there is where I felt again another piece of the freedom puzzle. So that I put another piece, because I think now for me freedom is not just about, I don't know, be free emotionally, mentally, free from addictions, or even economically free. It's also about don't be in a specific place because like my family is here or my friends are here or my job is here, I need to stay in this town, I'm born here, I'm good here. No, that's not real freedom for me. Freedom for me is when you travel all around the world and then you choose where you want to live based on what you really want.
What resonates with you?
Yeah, how do you know that you want to live in one place if you don't experience all the other cultures and places around the world? That's my point. So yeah, so now I'm at this point now, and I'm really happy because it's important. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny as well because when you first started the online coaching, you said there was some pushback, all these traditional values. You can't do this, you can't do that, right? And I just wonder if there's people listening where they're having some people as well telling them, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. And as a
Probably.
result, yeah, and they're going to have that limited mindset. But as we've seen from your story, anything's fucking possible, right?
Yeah.
And that's why, again, you mentioned, right, freedom for you is getting outside of that bubble. My opinion, some might call it controversial, but I think unless you've traveled, and I mean like properly traveling and experiencing new cultures and new lifestyles and that type of thing, unless you've done that, I don't think you can truly know what's best for you or what the world has to offer you. I just don't see how you can get that just staying back home in your
Yeah.
same bubble, right? And I think just for clarification, because some people might say, I don't have like the money to travel or that type of thing, but you've basically done this all from no, you had nothing, right?
From zero, yeah. As I said, when I was, running the groups or doing MMA, or I had no money, no job, no studies, and I took everything, no friends, no girlfriend, not a car or even a phone. So I started for real from zero. And so yeah, like it's a step by step process, of course. And but yeah, you can do everything. Yeah, basically you can do everything. And even when I started to travel to Costa Rica, no, I just throw myself in the unknown because I had an experience as an online coach. All my friends and colleagues says, Rocco, what the fuck are you doing? It's not professional. It's not, you don't do these things online. And yeah, so
And I remember you told me, I think it was the first or second night we met at poker. I remember you saying, yeah, like I did this monk mode period to build this lifestyle,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
What, for those who are listening, and for myself as well, what is monk mode? What does that entail? And how did that go for you?
Yeah, so after the period of South America, at the end we traveled for 6 months around all South America. So Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Panama, and at
New
the end
York.
we'd end up in New York, and and we spent also a month there, and then we came back, and when I was back to Italy, I said, wow, that's the life I want to live. But I also realized that my business was not built like super well. No, it was not scalable. I had no business plan, no, like, not a proper method. No, it was pretty homemade. So from that moment I said, okay, we're gonna reach the next step now. And so Rocco now focus like 1 year, and I went in a sort of monk mode that for me was okay, like no distractions, no partying, no alcohol, no, like, yeah, no distractions.
No
So
socializing, or were you socializing a little bit?
yeah, we're socializing a little
Okay.
bit, but just with a few, no, with a few people that I really care.
Yeah.
So from that moment, I started to value like real friends, cut off a lot of not real friends or not real relationship with random people that you just met because
And so were you not, you weren't in a relationship at this point?
we broke up.
Okay.
Yeah, we broke up after the 7 months,
Okay.
and yeah, and then I went inside another relationship, and but yeah, she were really focused too, so this helps. No,
Oh, yeah.
this helps my monk mode period because I was working like crazy in the gym and still doing my online coaching business like homemade, but in the same time I was buying and doing a lot of courses and masterminds for studying marketing and sales and how to build an online business through Instagram and how to scale the business and how to create an app. I also created my own app called Rock Your Body as my Instagram page.
It's fucking
And
awesome.
yeah, find your
Awesome name.
niche, find your offer and the delivery of your product. And so working at the gym and all the money that I was doing, I just invested in the coaching business. And I was doing that every month, boom, and invest and invest and invest. So I didn't spend nothing now to, like, I don't know, go out or enjoy, yeah, but it's worth it. I mean, if you want to reach some big goals in your life, you need to stay focused and to, like, get rid of, the some things for a period of your life. Like, it's mandatory.
And it's like we were saying earlier, right? It's a period of your life. It doesn't mean that forever you have to be a fucking monk,
Yeah,
as we say,
exactly.
right? It's just a period of your life,
Yeah.
like you're saying, and you just go through these periods, and just intense focus, right?
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And if you do that for this period, if your goal is your freedom, no, or a piece of your freedom, so you are really happy during this period. It's not like a sacrifice, but it's like actually really cool because you see really big results in a short period of time. But yeah, but I worked every weekend, every night, every hour that I had free between a client and another. But then I started to see that, oh wow, this thing is working, no? And so the coaching business started to grow. And so at one point I said, okay, stop. I will not work in the gym anymore. So I just said to all my clients one day, hey guys, this is my new service, this is my new app. If you want, you can switch to that, but I will not do one-on-one session anymore. And
But the gym wasn't very happy with you.
no, actually, the owner was really happy because when I said to him that, he said like yeah, you are doing the right thing,
Oh, that's
Rocco.
lovely.
Like do that, continue in that direction, and yeah, and also where all my clients, I never worked for someone else. So even at the gym, I was just using the gym to
Ah,
bring my
right.
own
Okay.
clients.
Right. Okay.
Because even that, when I started to do personal training before, like everyone said to me the same thing that said to me when I started my online coaching business, like, Rocco, no, you can't start with one-on-one trainings, and you need to go to the gym, work for the gym for a few years, and then slowly I said, no.
But they never trod your path, did they?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
how could you take advice from someone who hasn't done
yeah.
it?
That's a bit like, I think it's a bit of an Italian mindset also. And yeah, so yeah, I said, so I did that. I did that. And yeah, so getting back to my like my business now, no, I was talking also about that. True? Or
Yeah, well, yeah, I was going to get into that. Just on the subject of this monk mode, I'm wondering if you ever sort of got burnt out or your
oh
fit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got burned out. Yeah,
I think it's important to mention that because
true.
everyone's just like, oh, cool, I'm just going to go fucking crazy, but there are side effects, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. Actually, I get burnout a couple of times, and yeah, that was crazy because at one point, like you are doing many things every day. You are studying a lot or doing many tasks per day, and then one day, like your mind is so confused and you feel so tired that you can't do anything. And so in that moment, I started to, like relax, meditate, leave the things as they are, take some time and focus on less tasks, no, until like the easiest one, until I felt better, and then slowly go back into the routine in the monk mode.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you never combined monk mode with meditation or any of these other things.
No, I no, in
Interesting.
that period I was just going like crazy, and
Okay.
then yeah, I just used meditation in the burnouts.
Only when we need it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
I don't know if it's the right thing. Was the first time for me, and to like yeah, to focus like that, and but I can say that it's works works a lot.
and what was this period of time?
A little bit more than 1 year.
Okay, 1 year. All right. So I mean, there you go. I think that's sort of a good time frame, I think, focused work, and you would say now you're living your dream life, right?
Yeah, right now I can say it's just the beginning of
Of
my dream
course.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting now again, and no, I mean it's starting now
Yeah.
because now I'm here in Bali since 2 months, and the coaching business is going really good. I hired my first an appointment setter that is managing my Instagram page.
Brilliant.
I will soon hire a coach from the beginning of next year, and so I will start to scale. And because I can't do anymore everything by myself, and also I want to scale, I will move my company from Italy to the US. So I will open
Makes
my
sense.
company there, and then in the same time I will build my second business, and will that I will help other coaches to do what I did, because I think the freedom that you can get from a well done online coaching business, if it's also your passion, um, it's it's amazing. It's amazing. Right now, I'm working 2 weeks. I have all my coaching calls in the first 2 weeks of the month, and then I have the second 2 weeks of the month basically free. And because I choose to manage my time like that. So you can do really good money, and then you can basically work when you want. And so the second weeks of the month, I'm more focused on, for example, hiring people or to do all these things around the business, creating content for social media. But so the first 2 weeks is just monk mode again, okay? Focus. And the second 2 weeks is more the creative things around your business. And so for me, it's a really interesting way to see my life and my work.
That's really interesting, yeah, because it's again discussing this idea of burnout, right? But it seems to me it's like when you have 2 weeks high intensity and then 2 weeks bit more flow, low intensity.
Yeah, we need to learn from the past, right? I can't I can't be burnout again. That's yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a really nice work-life balance for me, because also we are in a paradise here, right? So you want also some time to go around, to discover, to make experience, to meet new people, like-minded people, and create new connections. This is really important for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I've sort of tried to do everything, like all of that like in one day. It's been interesting. I think eventually, even though you want to carry on mentally, sometimes the body just sort of gives up on you. I think that happened. It happened to me the other day. I think
Yeah.
because I have all this different changes happening in my life, and I noticed my body was just like, please, just give us a rest for 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. I think different things work for different people. Yeah, I'll definitely. I might try your method out. Kind of tempted to do the monk mode myself, but yeah, so so inspiring, and I know sort of in your current work as well. I know you mentioned at the end of the last pod how some of the work actually involves people looking at them at an emotional level, perhaps as well.
Yeah. So basically, what I do, and also what I discovered, like I'm an online fitness and nutrition coach. So now I help people to lose weight. I focus my niche on weight loss. I'm really passionate about it, and also I love it because it's like long journeys, and so it's also a nice connection with the coach and the client. You is also like a you have to give them support and motivation, not only like a training program and a nutrition program, but it's more a connection between two people, as I like to say. Like, okay, we are a team now, and we are going in to your goals together. So it's really cool. And but what I notice is that when your body shows some kind of, let's say you have 10 kilos more, okay, so you have 10 kilos of fat in your body, so your body is not okay. Like most of the times, that means that you have something even inside of you that is not okay, and the body is just showing that somehow. And the first step, even to work on your deeper and on a deeper level, is to take care of your habits, your like training, nutrition. And when you see your body improving and improving and improving, you will feel better in the outside, but also inside, and then you will have the strength to go deeper.
I see.
That's was the interesting part.
Yeah, and I think it's when people start seeing those changes, right? I think a lot of the time, especially in fitness and the physical world, physical health, I think a lot of people will sort of go to the gym, and because they've got these ideas in their head of what a good body composition should look like, I think that's where a lot of people can fall off a little bit. But like you said, I think if you just start focusing on how you feel mentally, and if you start eating right and go to the gym, you're just going to feel better. So I
Yeah.
think if you just get almost addicted to that high, maybe that's sort of the way to look at it. I do wonder, because I know you mentioned before about how, yeah, some people might just like replace one addiction with another. Do you think in your instance, because you were just running instead of taking it, do you think your addiction is running? Do you think that's your thing?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that sports for me is kind of my good addiction now, and of course, like helps you a lot mentally, and all the substances that the brain release. I really can feel if I'm working out, let's say in a week, or if I'm not. No, my mood is way better. I look better. I feel better, and so for me, it's like will be is a key to like take care of my training all the time. Can be running, can be climbing, can be many things. Like I have since 3 years I have one big challenge that I do every year with my body. So the first challenge is and this is like, let's say that my crazy part of like I want to do more. I want to do big things. And so the first year was called an Inferno run. I did this run like 18 kilometers. You run like in the woods and in the river, and you take this heavy bags. You will love it
Nice.
actually.
Oh,
Heavy
fuck
bags,
yeah.
for 500 meters, and then you swim in this lake, and then and I did that, and
Nice.
was really cool. Then the second year, my grandmother, both of my grandmothers were dying, and one of them actually died. So I had this picture of her like this at 96 years old, like, hey. And I asked to my father to do the same picture of my other grandmother that was still alive, but she was in the bed, like in pretty bad condition. So he put her hand like this, like somehow, and make the picture. And I printed the shirt with them here.
That's
And I
cool.
went to Jerusalem in Israel and ran the Jerusalem Marathon. But like without properly training, no? And so I ran, and the Jerusalem Marathon is a crazy one because Jerusalem, when I arrived in town there, it was crazy because Jerusalem is like all big hills.
Oh
So I
no.
was in the taxi like, fuck, I chose the wrong one because at the end were more than 25 kilometers was,
And it's warm there as well, right?
it's really warm, yeah. So I ran that, and I did that in 5 hours. And then this year, I will try to climb the Kilimanjaro now in December, so in
Wicked.
Africa. And yeah, so sports will be part of my life. Yeah.
Forever. Yeah, that's so inspiring, man. That's wicked. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the Kilimanjaro updates. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've touched on a fair bit. I think there's just so much to explore, sort of in your mind as well. Again, I just think so inspiring, and just your outlook on life, and I think the way you've sort of framed sort of addiction as well, and just offered like a different perspective on it is really cool. I don't know if you had any sort of final advice if someone does have an addiction to anything. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be sex, could be porn, could be anything. What sort of first steps would you recommend people take?
Yeah, so I think the first step is acceptance, because if you don't accept that you have an addiction, if you don't realize it with yourself, you will never get through it. And you have to accept also that the addiction is in that moment is stronger than you. So it's like an act of to be humble and to accept that. And once you accept that, also accept some help, because like we can't do everything alone, right? And that's also part of the recovery. And then slowly from there start to take your power back. And that's the moment where you can really start to crash it again.
And taking your power back might involve different methods, right? Because some things work for different people.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone need to find his own way, but it's cool to like start with like slowing down, accept, realize that okay, we are humans, we can, make mistakes or fall, and then ask some help, and then slowly take your power back, and even more and more and more. No, but we have to pass through this. I think this is the most important advice, because I saw too many people that for all their lives they never recognize that they have some addictions, because you can go deeper like I did, no? But even, people are addicted from alcohol or from cocaine and they do it every weekend or every day, and you can do that even for all your life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's I think just that awareness, like you said as well, just being honest with yourself. Yeah, super important. But yeah, again, wow, what a fantastic guest. Rocco, thank you so much. Just
thank you, Arisen.
for the new listeners as well, where can people find you? Where can they find out more about your coaching? And when is your book coming out? And where can people buy it?
Yeah, so my book is coming out in 2025. So we are just at the end of it with a writer, of course, is helping me. But you can find me on Instagram at Rock Your Body, ROK Your Body. And yeah, so, and I can't wait to see the episode coming out.
Yeah, me too, man. And
But yeah, thank you so much also to invite me here. It's a pleasure.
yeah, most welcome. Thanks so much. Thanks so
Thank
much again,
you.
man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you.
Thank you.
Easy. Thank you.